In R, we can use the table function to build a contingency table or crosstab to format data into a matrix. In this video, I'll demonstrate the R table function using a couple of built-in datasets. So the first dataset we're going to use is the air quality dataset. We could bring it up and help. This is one that's built into R. And it's New York air quality measurements from May to September 1973. Use the head function just to bring up a little bit of the data. So here we get ozone, solar, wind, temp, month and day. These measurements were recorded on. So the data I want to look at is the ozone in relation to the month. I want to look at the highs. So if we take table, I want to look at the ozone high, which is anytime the ozone was measured to be greater than 80 parts per billion. And I want to look at that on a month-by-month basis. So here we have the months indicated from May through to September. The ozone was less than or equal to 80. This is in the false row. And anytime the ozone was greater than 80, we get an indication here in this true row. Now there's some missing information here, namely the missing data points. If you look here on the fifth record here on May the 5th, the air quality, the ozone measurement was missing. So I might want to see how often that occurs. I can specify this use NA parameter to table function and give it the if any value. So this if any string gives me the NA row if there's any missing data points, and there's quite a few. So in May there's 5, in June there's 21 days that didn't get an ozone reading, July, August, and September. I can also force the column as well. So if I put always, it will give me a column and a row, even if there's no missing data points, like there is here. So this NA column says that every reading indicates the month. So there's no missing months in our data set. I'm going to go on to another data set. This one comes from the Modern Applied Statistics with S or MAS library. And the data I'm going to use is the student survey called survey and head survey. Gives me the first few rows. So we get the gender, their hand that they write with, some things like pulse, exercise, smoking, height, etc. What I want to do is look at how many people smoke. So if I table smoking data, how many heavy smokers we have, never, occasionally, and regular. And now I'm going to cross-tabulate it with gender so we can separate this data by male or female. So if I do table, sex, smoke, this will tell me how many females and how many males fall into these smoking categories. So here we have 99 females in this survey never smoked and 89 males. Now there's also some missing data points here, so we can do use NA equals if any or always. So here we have an NA row and an NA column. So if we look at the row, NA, we have one data point, one person responded never, but this NA indicates that they didn't indicate their gender. So someone said they never smoked, but they didn't say whether they're male or female. And here with this NA column, there's somebody who indicated that they were a male, but didn't say whether they smoked or not. So using NA gives us some interesting information that we may be missing in our data set. So that'll conclude this video on the R table function.